First thing you said when you got on stage, you're like, I'm feeling like I'm hungover. I didn't drink last night, but I mean, you were 27 days into election day.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? How do you do this every day?
Well, I think honestly, it helps to be a bit of an extrovert, right? And I get energy from people. You saw the crowd here. When you walk into a meeting or an event and people are, there because they love their country and they're activated, it's not hard to feel adrenaline, right? To feel positive. So for me, we'll sleep after the election. There's not a lot of social life. There's not a lot of sleeping, but this is part of it, and I've done it before. And people are really engaged this year, which helps.
Yeah. How do you stay fueled? Is there a secret?
For me, a big part of it is just like being able to keep up with my friends and family. I do these long drives around the state, right? Today we're going to go, let's say, from here to Portage and Portage back to Holly. And I drive myself, and I do that because that's my time to catch up with my family, with my friends, with my nieces, my nephews, and just getting out of the political stuff and being a normal person and hearing about who won their soccer game or their gymnastics meet. It's good fuel for me to restore my energy.
On those long hours driving, it sounds like you talk to a lot of family. Are you listening to any certain music, anything that gets you going, or a podcast or anything like that?
I try to listen to whatever local radio station I'm in range in, because I think it's important. I mean, Grand Rapids radio is different than Flint radio, which is different than Detroit area radio. So I try to catch up on what the hyper local issues are. To me, I haven't gotten really into the podcast thing. I have a lot of people who do podcasts. I still am a book on tape person. Okay. If I have a minute, I'll I'll listen to a book on tape while I'm driving. But at this point in the campaign, I'm not really even doing that. Yeah. It's just kind of work call, family call, hit the bed, go to sleep, wake up, rinse and repeat. Yeah.
That's also how I read too, is listening to a podcast or on tape.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about why we're here today. I heard a comment saying we're losing some black men voters, or they're exploring the Republican side. You have 27 days through this campaign. Is that a worry for you? What group are you really trying to hit the most as we're getting through the last weeks of this election?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's Michigan, right? So the election can be won or lost by, as we saw in 2016, 11,000 votes. So you can't just reach out to one group. It's just that's not how it works. So we need both turnout among, typical Democrats. So we need to be in places where, like our cities, where we tend to have more Democrats. But, you also have to win independents. And independents, open-minded, moderate Republicans, swing voters, tend to be in some of our suburbs, tend to be in some of our rural, more Republican areas. That's like the district I represent. And I know very well you got to go into those communities where they frankly haven't seen a Democrat show up in 40 years. Show them you don't have horns and a tail, that you're a decent person, and see if you can sway some people. So yes, I mean, there's definitely groups that we all know are really still questioning their vote. And it's on me to go to not just one community, but all of them, and really try to earn it.
Yeah. Last night's debate, I was just talking a little bit about the preparation. I mean, and going up against someone for an entire hour, staying sharp. And what does the preparation of that go? Give us an idea on what goes into the preparation, and then how do you feel like it went?
Yeah, I mean, for preparation, whether I was a CIA officer having to brief on classified materials, whether I was working at the White House under both Republicans and Democrats having to brief in the Situation Room, briefing Congress as a acting Assistant Secretary of Defense at the Pentagon, you get kind of in your groove of how you personally prepare. For me, we have a small group of my staff who's thinking through what do we think the questions are going to be, what are the hot topics we know are going to be asked, and we're thinking through what we want to talk about and what we really care about on those issues. So it's about practicing and thinking through it, but there's an element of just thinking on your feet, right? You can't it doesn't work to just memorize something. You got to be able to move as the answers and questions come down. I think it went well. I mean, look, I I said in my opening statement, we both have records, right? You have someone who's a congresswoman for 5 or so years. You have a man who's been, was an elected politician for 20 years. So there's a lot like that we've actually had to vote on. And I think that it's important, it's not about the talking points you put out when you're running, it's about what you are going to do and what you did when you actually had the job. So I think it went well. You always hope that it's just on policy and no, throwing of insults, but I thought it went well overall.
Well, let's speak to that actually just real quick, because you talked about this. This is a very divisive election, and it has been on both sides. And you said it's hard sometimes not to get angry or to you fall into that. What do you do, and what do you tell yourself to try to stay out of that in that moment? Yeah,
I think my feeling is that the average Michigander can't stand how angry our politics have gotten. They don't like it. Most of us grew up in politically mixed families. In my family, my dad, lifelong Republican, my mom, a lifelong Democrat. It never used to be this like angry zero-sum kind of thing. And so for me, it's just about getting out of the political world and back into normal reality, right? You go to a kid's soccer game or a grocery store, and people are not waking up every morning thinking about their political opponent. They're just talking about their lives and what they want for their kids. So I try to, most of my closest friends and certainly all my family have nothing to do with politics. They don't really like it. And so that grounds me. And then I just think that I'm, again, fueled by being out in the trail. And again, like, people are nasty online, not as nasty in person. People say insane things to the media. The average person in Michigan would never say those things. And so I'm heartened by the fact that probably 80% of Michiganders just want the government to function.
Probably surprisingly, at least on my end, watching the debate, one of the more contentious moments was surrounding the Goshen plant. You spoke about how you were hoping to create or working on right now, passing legislation to vet Chinese companies when they try to buy farmland, manufacturing facilities and whatnot. Can you walk us through a little bit about that and some specifics and what you're hoping to get passed?
Sure. So basically, we've started to see around the country, not just in Michigan, Chinese companies affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party buying up things like farmland, buying up things like manufacturing facilities, processing facilities for, let's say, meat. And, America's a capitalist country, and so people are doing those sales without thinking about the national security implications. So what I have written into bills, and mostly in a bipartisan way, is before any Chinese entity at all, or Iranian, or Russian, or North Korean, can ever even think about buying a piece of land or a manufacturing facility, they have to go through a formal national security vetting process, including classified information in Washington, before that sale could ever happen. And they have the ability to say, no, I know we're a capitalist country, but we're not going to sell you that farmland. It's near a military base, or it's near a sensitive site, or we just don't want you having a foothold with the history that you have in our country. So that is what we've been working on. And again, in Washington on the Armed Services Committee, this is one of the most bipartisan issues we work on. So we have Republican co-sponsors for those. That's our last question.
Okay. Just on that topic then, Biden administration enacted emission standards in March, which essentially require 2/3 of all cars and light duty trucks to be sold by 2032 to be zero emission. What would you change, if anything, to those emission standards? Do you believe the electric grid can actually support that amount of electric vehicles if that was the case?
Yeah, so for me, we know we're going to use more electricity. We all have our phones and our gadgets, and we all know it. So we need to update our grid with kind of an all of the above approach. I'm for nuclear, I'm for natural gas, traditional, solar, wind, okay? So we need to be dealing with our grid. As for the emission standards, the car companies, GM, Ford, were supportive of the standards that came out. And there was a draft that came out maybe a year ago where they weren't supportive. They said, you didn't talk to us about this. And I didn't support those standards. You can't make standards for the car companies without them telling you that they can actually meet those standards. And if GM and Ford and others came back and said, this is just not doable for a whole bunch of reasons, then I'm going to go and advocate and say, look, we got to find a middle ground here. You can't just do things that the car companies can't achieve. So I'm willing for them to come forward, but I'm going to lead with our industry, not just kind of a political talking point. If GM and Ford say they can meet it, then to me, that's an important data point.
Is there any way we can do one more question?
Let's do one more really quick.
Okay. Just in what we're dealing with right now, Hurricane Milton, barreling towards Florida right now, just had Helene. There's been a lot of controversy on FEMA and aid given and whatnot. What would you have done, if anything, differently from the Biden administration standpoint, on the ground, whatnot, with just this natural weather disaster?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not on the ground there, and I know this is extremely mountainous terrain, and it was incredibly destructive, basically like just fast-moving walls of mud and debris. I mean, it was a really particularly devastating incident or storm. And I don't know exactly what's gone on the ground, but I know that in a lot of those areas, locals know a lot about that terrain, and someone coming in from the outside is going to have a harder time understanding it. And so I think any recovery from a natural disaster has to be equal parts, the federal government coming in with those resources, but also local knowledge on the ground saying like, look, it doesn't make sense to go here. It makes sense to go on this road and fix this first and do that. So to me, I just think, just like when we had our tornadoes here in Michigan, right? We need FEMA resources. We did, and we got FEMA resources, and a lot of those tornadoes were in my home district around Lansing. But in terms of the cleanup and how to deal with it, locals on the ground always have the best sense of like how the terrain works and how we need to start.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for coming out.